something very strange just took place at NASA, and it's a mystery. The space chief shockingly quits without reason days before historic mission, the historic launch. NASA chief quits in mysterious circumstances days before space flight is set to take place. Why is this happening? Space enthusiasts were stunned when Doug Lovero, the head of NASA's Human Spaceflight Office, resigned from his post without citing any reason. Mr. Lovero simply said a mistake he had made was the reason behind his shock exit without going into further detail. A mistake? What does that mean? In a letter obtained by Politico, Mr. Lovero, who previously worked for the Pentagon, said he was leaving his position, quote, with a very, very heavy heart, unquote, after just 7 months on the job. The letter added, throughout my long government career of over 4.5 decades, I have always found it to be true that we are sometimes, as leaders, called on to take risks. The risks we take, whether technical, political, or personal, all have potential consequences if we judge them incorrectly. And he goes on to explain, I took such a risk earlier in the year because I judged it necessary to fulfill our mission. And he said, now, over the balance of time, it's clear that I made a mistake in that choice for which I alone must bear the consequences. My leaving is because of my personal actions, not anything we accomplished together, end quote. And what makes the timing of the mysterious resignation even more peculiar is that NASA and SpaceX together are set to launch astronauts from American soil for the first time since 2011 next week. And given that he oversaw NASA's Human Spaceflight Office, Mr. Lovero would have been eager to see Americans launched from American soil for the first time in nearly a decade. So what does this mean? Does this mean that the launching of the astronaut stops? Anyway, lawmakers are now scrambling to find out the cause of Lovero's shock exit, with Representative Kendra Horn, Democrat from Oklahoma, stating that answers will be needed. And she said to Politico, I'm deeply concerned over the sudden resignation, especially given its timing. Under this administration, we've seen a pattern of abrupt departures that have disrupted our nation's efforts at human spaceflight. The bottom line is that as a committee that oversees NASA, we need answers. Of course you do. Well, everybody needs answers. And NASA is set to continue with the mission without him, the space agency said in their statement. It said next week will mark the beginning of a new era in human spaceflight with the launch of NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley to the International Space Station. This test flight will be a historic and momentous occasion that will see the return of human spaceflight to our country, and the incredible dedication by the men and women of NASA is what has made this mission possible. Okay, they're going to take these 2 astronauts to the ISS. I assume that it will be done by SpaceX. That's okay. So we'll see what happens in a few weeks. This is by Sean Martin on Express UK. Please leave your comments if you have any idea why he did this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition, and the community around our church. Thank you.